Hi, Amy Denny, owner and founder of Shine Light Therapy, certified Holy Yoga and trauma-sensitive Holy Yoga instructor. And I'm going to share with you several exercises that you can do if you're having some shoulder issues. These are great stretches that you can do at home to complement any care that you may or may not be receiving from a doctor. Please do see a doctor if you're continuing to have pain that isn't alleviated by ice, rest, or stretching. So let's talk about a few things in yoga that you can do. Let's do a basic cat-cow. So let's get on all fours, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, and you're going to inhale, lift the tail, drop the belly, press the heart forward, the crown up. And as you exhale, rotate that pelvis so the tail melts to the ground, create some space between the vertebrae, chin drops to the chest. Inhale, press forward for cow, and notice the shoulders here, clapping together on the back side of the body, really squeezing. And then as you exhale, opening up, creating some space between the shoulder blades when you're in cat. So you can do some full cat-cows. Each of these exercises I would do 2 to 3 times a day, every day. You can also drop the pelvic movement in this. Keep your pelvis stable and just do some shoulder push-ups. So you're going to have that same action with your shoulder blades, pressing forward, opening the heart toward your fingers, and then pressing into the hands, lifting the back side of the body, just the upper back, and opening space between the shoulders. So you're just isolating the movement of the shoulder blades. Good. The next one in a seated position is a variation or a modification of eagle arms. So you can be in a low kneel, you could be in a simple seat, you could be in a chair, and you're just going to give yourself a hug. So you want to stretch out these shoulders, maybe lift the elbows up to shoulder level. And as you do, perhaps this is enough, or maybe you want to squeeze the shoulder blades together as you pull the elbows away from the body, and you may start to notice some sensation with that. Holding the posture, but never the breath. Stay for a few breaths, and if you have a timer, maybe do each exercise for 30 to 60 seconds. I would start on the low end, release that, and make sure you do the opposite side. So you're probably going to notice one side on this exercise affects your shoulder differently than the other, especially if you have that injury going on. Good, so just making sure that you do both sides. The next stretch that we're going to do is from camel pose. So you can do that in a low kneel. So this is a modification. Fingers come back behind, pointing down toward your knees. And you're just lifting the heart here, squeezing the shoulder blades together and keeping the shoulders out of the ears. So you want to bring your neck back so that it's in alignment with your spine. And you're gazing kind of where the wall and the ceiling meet. And feeling that stretch across the front side of the shoulder blades. Good. So that is one modification. You can also come onto the balls of the feet and come into a full camel. So you'll be in a high kneel. From here, you can either have the feet down or lifted. Easier to access the heels if you're on the balls of the feet. And keep the hips always over the knees. So this may or may not be in your practice. Maybe your feet are down. I cannot touch them if my feet are down. And again, holding the posture, but not the breath, protecting the cervical spine, keeping the shoulders out of the ears, and you can really feel some stretching going on in the shoulders here. Good. So that is camel. Same kind of stretch is bow pose, which you can do from your tummy. So you can modify this by simply reaching the hands down toward the feet. Your feet can stay on the ground. So you're just lifting the shoulders, the upper body. Or you can grab for the ankles and lift all the way up. Same kind of stretch as camel. Good. Again, holding the posture, but not the breath. That is another one. One more, which is good to do particularly after that, is downward facing dog. So curling the toes under, lift the hips, create an inverted V with the body. So one of the things we don't want to do in a downward dog is dump into our shoulders. We really want to lift our hips up and back as if we're pressing the tailbone to the sky. And then press into your hands. Press your ears kind of through the shoulders, broaden through the chest. Good. So a downward dog can kind of help loosen up the shoulders. You can also do kind of a wall stretch like that. One of my favorite, I didn't bring a chair over here. Let me grab a chair. One of my favorite stretches, not necessarily a yoga stretch, came from a physical therapist with my shoulder injuries, was to simply bring, it's almost like a downward dog on a chair. Bring your arms up on a seat or a chair, a back of a chair, kind of press your gaze through until you feel that kind of pull on your shoulder. Stay here and breathe. Good. Again, just holding the stretch for as long as feels comfortable for you. So I would start with 20 to 30 seconds on each stretch, and then you can build up from there. So one more that I really love is also from your tummy. So you are going to come onto your tummy, and your arms are going to come out to a T. Your palms are below the shoulder level as a T, so you don't want them straight out from the shoulder, but down a little bit. Then we're going to bring this right palm underneath the right shoulder and then drop onto the left shoulder and come onto the side so that your hand is behind you. And I'm going to flip to the other side so you can see this. Maybe you bring your foot, your right foot behind your left leg. Maybe you even loosen this hand, grab for the other, and start to really open up your chest. So you want to stretch out the left shoulder when you're on the left side and the right shoulder from the right side. So I'll roll to my right to show you what that looks like from the back. So hand is below the shoulder, and then you just push yourself onto your side. Dog wants to come say hello. You can bring this foot behind. Knee comes up to the sky. Now just be aware, like this side, I have a right shoulder injury, so this is a little too intense for me. So just being aware of that. And again, it's going to be hard for me to access it, but you can bring this hand back and interlace the fingers. Good. And that rounds up a few of those shoulder injuries. You can end in a child's pose and actively stretch out the shoulder, or what feels really good to me is to bring my hands between my legs, grab my toes, let my shoulders melt and relax and soften to the mat and lay on my cheek. So this will kind of just let your shoulders relax and rest after all of the active stretching. And then you may want to ice them when you're done with that series of stretches. So I hope that is helpful for your shoulders. I'd love to know how it makes you feel. If you have any other stretches, I'd love to know those too. So drop me a line.